It's Godzilla! This is a presentation all about Godzilla, and it will also be my top 5 Godzilla monsters, or Kaiju as they're known.
Incredible. I just watched, what's the Guillermo del Toro, basically?
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I watched that yesterday.
Well, this is an episode that has been recommended or suggested to us by friend of the show, Discrot. So thank you so much to Discrot for giving us a suggestion for an episode idea. You can do that down in the comments below if you want an episode on something that you really like, or you can send us a message on Twitter. So let's begin. To Godzilla. Godzilla is a prehistoric sea monster that has been awakened by US nuclear tests. He ranges from anywhere between 50 and 120 meters tall, and he has a morality system which is neither good nor bad. He is just an engine of destruction.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, so sometimes he's in the good side and sometimes he's in the bad side because he just wants to survive, and if that means he has to crash through downtown Tokyo to kill another monster, that's what he's gonna do.
I would.
Godzilla is just as adept underwater as he is on land because he is an aquatic creature by nature. So if you are going to fight Godzilla, please choose where you're good at as opposed to fighting him where he is, because you will have a bad time underwater probably.
Don't fight him on his home turf.
No, don't fight him on his home turf. One of his major abilities, Mr. Godzilla, is his atomic breath. He charges up his breath and shoots it at whoever he's fighting.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was in the newest American Godzilla movie.
Yeah, that's why he shoots a big laser beam out of his mouth. I don't know what makes it atomic.
It's made of
I think
atoms.
it's just a word. They're just using atomic because it sounds cool. But that's beside the point. Godzilla has been known in the last 70 years to fight many, many, many other kaiju. And we might find out about a few of them today.
I remember in that movie they said that the monsters that he was fighting fed on atomic radiation. And I was just like, if they'd evolved to feed on radiation, they'd be like bacteria, not like big reptile things.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, Godzilla as a franchise is not entirely scientifically accurate. And talking about Godzilla as a franchise, Gojira is kind of what it's known as in Japan. Created in 1954. Surprisingly. The word Gojira, or Godzilla, we're going to call it Godzilla in this, rather than trying to sort of butcher the Japanese pronunciation, is a portmanteau of gorilla and Kujira, which means whale, because he's an aquatic creature.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you sort of assume that his name is Godzilla, like he's the god of the Zillas, right? But no, it's a portmanteau. It might also be a pun as well, but I couldn't quite work it out. The franchise has basically existed through 4 distinct eras, and they loosely follow the eras of the Japanese emperors, hence why they're known as the Showa, the Heisei, the Millennium, and the Reiwa eras. Obviously, Millennium isn't a Japanese era, but the Heisei era was so long that they basically split the 2 eras of Godzilla into 2 and named one of them Millennium. Interestingly enough, the Showa era, is actually the era of the emperor who was emperor in World War II. And this went up to like the 1980s, I think. I think that's when he died, 1985 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He was responsible for some stuff.
Yes. But like when America did those massive war crimes of nuking hundreds of thousands of civilians, they decided it was a bad idea to completely get rid of the emperor and just made him a figurehead.
Yeah.
So Godzilla was created in a Japan that was reeling from those nuclear blasts and also some of the fallout from the Bikini Atoll tests. So one of the things that America was doing when they were testing their nukes was they were firing their nukes into this Bikini Atoll. And there's some horrible stories about like native populations of the Bikini Atoll having to be moved out of, or being forcibly moved out of their homes in order for America to shoot nukes at them.
That context does make atomic breath make more sense.
Yeah. But there was stories of like Japanese fishermen who were out in the sea, in the Pacific Ocean, fishing, presumably, where they got caught by the fallout of the Bikini Atoll tests. And there were like hundreds of boats, but it was a particularly famous one, which gained traction. And America, they paid some, I hesitate to call them reparations, but they didn't pay an awful lot to these people who had been quite negatively affected long-term health-wise by these blasts. Originally, of course, there was a man in the suit of Godzilla. This is the first guy who ever played Godzilla here, Haro Nakajima. And in later films, particularly in like the Millennium and the Reiwa eras, Godzilla is no longer played by a man in a suit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But now it's time for the thing that everybody is waiting for. Everybody is on tenterhooks for this. It is the top 5 kaiju. Woo! You sort of expect music or something, don't you? Maybe I'll put music into this. So, coming in at number 5, it is Mothra. Mothra is a moth kaiju. Interestingly enough, called Mothra, is a moth. Wow. First appearance 1964. Interestingly enough, Godzilla versus Mothra. You'll find that a lot of these creatures' first appearances are in very similarly named films. In that film, the original Mothra died protecting her eggs from Godzilla. Godzilla was not actively trying to hurt Mothra, but was just being a being of destruction. But she protected her eggs, and unfortunately only one survived. So in the next film, that Mothra who survived in the previous film, the Mothra egg that survived, later teamed up with Godzilla to fight King Ghidorah, often considered Godzilla's biggest ally, Mothra, despite the fact that, you know, he killed her mum.
My feelings about Mothra are definitely more positive because she's fluffy. I like moths. They're so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see anything with a giant moth.
Well, Mothra's powers also include the ability to blow enormous gusts with her wings, and also poisoning anyone she flies over.
That sounds like a Pokemon.
It is a little bit like a Pokemon, isn't it? She's also a powerful psychic and is able to communicate with humans.
That also sounds like a Pokemon.
It is a bit like Butterfly. Butterfree?
Butterfree. Yeah,
Butterfree, that's it.
I'm just learning
Which
where all
came
the
first?
powers of Butterfree come from.
Yeah.
And
It literally, like, poisons. I think it throws air at people, and definitely has psychic powers as well. Can get psychic.
Yeah. Maybe Butterfree is named off. Is done after Mothra.
Yeah.
That's an
It is.
interesting thing. Oh.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh. Coming in at number 4, it is Hedorah.
Oh
Nice.
my goodness. Is the toxic sludge monster?
Basically, Hedorah is first in the film in 1971 called Godzilla versus Hedorah. Hedorah is an alien kaiju from the Dark Gas Nebula. Ooh, an alien. Obviously, he feeds on pollution, which is why he looks like that. All of his attacks are sort of acidy, poisony attacks. And he can fly, spread sulfuric acid as he flies, and he also shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Incredible. I love how much, like, Japanese media has, like, a really, really strong history of, like, obviously with its history to the fallout from the atomic blast, like, of really strong environmental themes and, like, like nature sort of getting revenge, or, you know, the kind of hubris of people in creating enemies for itself in nature. Like,
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. One of the things that I will probably cut out of this, but I'm going to tell you anyway because you'll really, really enjoy it. I was reading an interview from the guy who designed Hedorah, and apparently his eyes are designed like vaginas.
oh my god.
Yeah, I see
Don't
it.
cut that. Don't cut that. That's too good. God damn it.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Once, twice, 3 times a lady, it's number 3, King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a 3-headed hydra, I guess. His first appearance was in 1964, same year as Mothra, actually. He is considered Godzilla's greatest foe, has appeared in the most amount of Godzilla films, King Ghidorah. He also came from space.
From space.
Yes, from space! He is also responsible for the Venus being a desolate wasteland. He was the monster that destroyed Venus.
He's very beautiful.
Yeah, look at him. He's a proper monster, isn't he?
I see why, though, they put extra arms on dragons. Just to
Yeah, it looks
make
a bit
him
weird
look a
without
bit-
any arms,
yeah.
so we'll be honest.
His ability is gravity beams, which I don't know what they do. They're just gravity
They
beams.
just make you fall down. Like,
Yeah,
lie down.
yeah. He also has a tendency to get mind controlled, which is basically most of the fights that he has with Godzilla. He's being mind controlled by
that's-
another person
sad.
or another monster or an evil organization or whatever. So that's King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is Godzilla's greatest foe.
So he's like a sort of force of nature that then gets harnessed by evildoers to do more destruction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what makes him Godzilla's greatest foe? Is just that he's really susceptible to mind control? That's the reason he's arch enemy number 1.
Missing out on the top spot is number 2, Manila.
Oh my god.
Who I just had to put this in because he is adorable.
Barney the
This is the-
dinosaur covered in mud.
It really is, isn't it? This is the son of Godzilla. He is much friendlier than all of the other kaiju in the universe. In fact, he was so friendly that he starred in a series where he would appear in the dreams of a young boy who was dealing with bullies and other problems and gives him advice on how to deal with those bullies and how to deal with all of the problems in his life.
So who's that? Is there another parent, or is it just Godzilla laid an egg?
I don't think it's quite explained. In the 1997 terrible American Godzilla film, Godzilla is a male Godzilla who reproduces asexually.
Yeah, so he laid an
And that's
egg.
why at the end of that he's got all of the eggs and they blow up the stadium because of the eggs.
But they still call it a male Godzilla.
Well, that might just be misogyny in action.
Right?
So Manila can shrink to human size, speak Japanese, and he attacks with an atomic smoke ring. Because he can't quite do a beam yet. He's a little bit too little to do his beam.
It just goes.
Yeah, he just sort of blows smoke rings that are atomic. And now, number 1, top of the pops, or top of the kaijus, I guess. It is Mecha Godzilla.
Okay.
There are actually multiple Mecha Godzillas. The first one was created by aliens to conquer the Earth. So they observed Earth, saw that Godzilla was the most powerful creature on Earth, so created a robot Godzilla to kill the normal Godzilla and take over the entire Earth.
Were they successful?
Unfortunately, no, they were not successful, and Godzilla killed Mecha Godzilla.
Unfortunately.
However, a second Mecha Godzilla was created by the UN when they used the remains of robot King Ghidorah. So basically, well, it's a bit complicated. It gets very time travel-y, and basically, future people from Venus sent Mecha Ghidorah, sent a robot Ghidorah back in time to kill Godzilla. And then the UN used the remains of that Mecha Godzilla who got killed, Mecha Ghidorah, who got killed by the normal Godzilla, to create a Mecha Godzilla. This Mecha Godzilla can also combine with another robot and create Super Mecha Godzilla.
Incredible. Godzilla Power Rangers.
Basically. Mecha Godzilla can shoot missiles, lasers, and also has a flamethrower.
Gorgeous. I love this rainbow laser coming out of his eyes
really
there.
nice.
Yeah. I'm really like all of the designs because they're all really strong.
Yeah.
And very they feel very classic. I mean, they obviously are like 50 years old, but they feel very of the era, and I really like that.
Can you imagine like making the model for this? It'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Well, now that we've gone through my top 5, which one was your favourite?
Oh,
Mothra.
I just love Mothra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you both Mothra
Just
fans?
love a
are
good
you?
moth.
Yeah. I do love a good moth.
Yeah.
I think my favourite might be Manila. I think he's a right cutie. And I saw when I like was researching this and I was looking for all of the monsters. He was the one that Rua was like, oh my god, this is the one I have to put in.
Those big round eyes.
Yeah. Yes. So that's my whistle stop tour of Godzilla monsters.
Thank you
I
very
love it.
much. I'm very pleased to be caught up on Godzilla. I was really missing out.
Can either of you do a Godzilla impression?
Okay, here's my impression.
Mine is. It's very hard to get the growl in there.
Yeah.
Because it's a combination squeak and growl.